hi to all our friends of Warner Channel in Brazil.
We're back, starring as real-life paranormal investigators Lorraine and Ed Warren in The Conjuring, The Devil Made Me Do It.
Hey!
Jesus. I think I hurt someone.
Invocação do Mal 3 está chegando e dessa vez a história acompanha um dos casos mais sensacionais do casal Warren.
The court accepts the existence of God every time a witness swears to tell the truth. I think it's about time they accept the existence of the devil.
E é claro que a gente não ia perder a oportunidade de conversar com os atores. E para me ajudar nessas entrevistas, a gente tem a maravilhosa minha amiga, a Gaby Cam, a apresentadora da Warner Channel Latin America. Eu sou Valentina Pulgarín e esse é o Inside Warner Invocação do Mal 3, a Ordem do Demônio.
This is Ed Warren, here with Lorraine. All right, let's get started.
It's all fun and games till you read based on a true story.
It is a true story. The trial of Arnie Johnson is by far one of the most sensational and one of the most famous because it was the first time in history that a murder suspect claimed that he was under the devil's spell.
It's an incredible, unbelievable story, really. I can see why it's fascinated America and lots of people for many years. The trouble is, someone died. It was definitely sensitive territory.
These cases have always been haunted house cases, and no one also gets hurt. It's easy to walk away from that and then just have the kind of playful thought experiment of, do I believe in demons? Do I believe it was real? And I grew up Catholic, so I believe in all of it.
We're making a movie, not a documentary, so anytime that we do veer from the script, I do like to have a baseline of what is actually said. Like, in the courtroom, where's the court records? What did Ed actually say? Anytime you're playing something real, you want to use what's helpful, and I think there's an added, I don't look at it as a burden, I look at it as a plus.
As a viewer, when you're watching it and you know it's real, I think it just really anchors you.
Residents of Brookfield were shocked this afternoon by the broad daylight murder of Bruno Sauls.
This movie kept me tense the whole time. So I'm curious if you have any secrets or any, tricks to keep that atmosphere going on set as well.
I think, because this material is so dark and, this stuff is so scary and, especially when you really get into researching the real events, you realize how unsettling the whole case was.
You get to do some crazy, difficult scenes being possessed, and there's a lot of contortion happening in this one.
It's all real. It's not CGI.
How did you prepare for all that?
It was a contortionist. He's so good, and hopefully, if you don't spill the beans to everybody, people will think it's me, or at least the character of Arnie. It's so physical and demanding, and they have this contortionist doing incredible real-world stuff that the crew are watching, and they're going,
Over the credits, we play that real exorcism, the recording of that exorcism. And on set, I actually played that for the actors before we shot the scene. And it's funny because I did it at first just because I was like, I just want to shamelessly put people in the mood, and I thought it was going to be really scary. And then I was looking around at the room and everyone was quiet and you're just listening to this recording and you could just feel like the temperature dropped.
Vera, sometimes we hear about supernatural stories in the behind the scenes of horror movies. Did anything scary or supernatural happen to you during the making of this one?
No, Valentina, I don't allow it to happen anymore.
How so? Teach me.
But I just don't simply allow it to happen anymore. Something terrible happened here.
What are some things that used to scare you when you watch horror movies, and now that you've been in one, it doesn't anymore?
So I started watching horror movies when I was like 8 or 9. So I think it wasn't being in this horror film that stopped them being scary. I think it was being disturbed at a very young age. I was just probably traumatized and now don't feel anything when I watch horror films, really. But then when I watched this film, my girlfriend was there and I want to see her reaction to it. So she was covering her eye and I was like, you can't hide your face. I took her hands back. You must watch.
Oh, I'm still scared of everything. I'm the biggest coward and biggest fan of horror movies that there is. Honestly, I'm transported to being just like a little kid again. I'm just thinking oh my gosh.
As an audience member, when I see based on a true story, I think at a level of, whoa, that really happened. So an audience is always watching with that sense of oh my gosh, that happened, could that happen to me? I think somewhere in there is, could that happen to me?
I'm only interested in reality.
But I can see things that your people can't.
Made me take pause and made me think, well, wait a second, what do I believe? Like, what do I really believe in this case?
What do I think actually happened? It wouldn't be very interesting. I think they should make a documentary about it, though. I just don't know. I don't think anybody knows. I think it's probably lost to time. I thought I saw a UFO when I was 16, but now it's been so long that I don't trust the memory anymore.
And Ruairi, I was doing some research about cases like Arns, where murder suspects claim demonic possession, and I found one in Brazil too.
Wow, you found one in Brazil as well?
Yeah, and he was found guilty too.
So it doesn't work, is what we're saying.
The dilemma is real, but yeah, the defense, I don't know.
I mean, it's weird. Like, this is a person who exists and who made someone else not exist. You want to be respectful of the person who lost their life, but he doesn't really know if he did it or not. He doesn't know if the demon committed this violent act or if he's losing his grip on reality. And I try to just stick with that and be in his headspace.
It's a witch's totem. We think your family was cursed. And that connection's still open.
We go on this journey, we kind of go on, in these stories, and we're actually asked to think about the consequences, and we're actually asked to think about, the reality, which I think that in itself is one of the most exciting things about the story.
It really was an emotional journey. It was about fighting inner demons. That's kind of why I played it internally.
That is quite different than the former two in the sense that the devil won in this one. There was a killing.
People love to be scared. I think at their core, it's like you love it. You say you don't, but I can tell. These movies will always exist, and I think that experience will always exist. And I think that's one of the, the reasons you buy the ticket is you want to have that.
And I can't wait to go to a cinema, to a movie theater and see it there, and hopefully hear people screaming and being upset.
Invocação do Mal 3, A Ordem do Demônio, chega agora nos cinemas e muito em breve chega na sua casa. Então fica ligado na Warner Channel e também nas nossas redes sociais para ficar sabendo de todas as novidades.
Lorraine, you need to come back.
Is saving him worth everything you have? Because that's what Mayfair will cost me.
Eu sou Valentina Pulgarín e esse foi o Inside Warner Invocação do Mal 3, A Ordem do Demônio.
Lorraine,